So guys, we have another topic for you, and Kanye West has been in the news basically every day this week for a couple of days.
I thought he diminished from Twitter, by the way.
He definitely fell off. He was in a sunken place. We know that he had an opioid addiction, which he said happened after he went through liposuction because social media is real and he felt the pressure to be thin. You are married to the Kardashian family, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But we have Kanye West having a deep conversation with TMZ yesterday where he voices his opinions on slavery. And guys, you have to hear what he has to say before we talk about it. So we have a soundbite for you.
You hear about slavery for 400 years. For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally imprisoned.
Goes on to explain why he feels like we are imprisoned, and then later tried to tweet to clarify his point further, saying that Black people have stayed in the position or did stay in the position of slavery for 400 years because they were mentally ingrained to be that way, and that if they had the numbers, they should have spoken out and done something about it. And he says that he won't have his tongue bitten down on, and he won't have his tongue cut out like they did for years. He wants to speak his word. But we have a bunch of tweets from people who have commented on this, like Erica, who posted a picture with this hair flip gif in response to the hashtag that's gone viral, which is if slavery were real or something like that.
If slavery were a choice.
Exactly, if slavery were a choice. And Erica says that if slavery were a choice, she would be texting her massa, letting him know that it's too hot for her to come out onto the field today. And what you get from the hashtag in general is that there are a lot of humorous comments that came out of it, but there are people like, who do we have? Another one that says, people aren't laughing and mocking slavery. What they're doing is laughing and mocking Kanye West, who, in their opinion, is an ignorant man who made an ignorant comment because, in their mind, it's better to just laugh at his ignorance than hold anger towards it. But you can't laugh at something that affected a large percent of this population's history.
I think, you know, we can all agree that Kanye is different, okay? He's different, and there are some really big benefits for him thinking differently than anybody else around him. He, in my opinion, is one of the true musical genius of the rap genre, okay? He changed the game. He does things in his own way, strictly speaking in music. He's just out there. At least appreciate this. Maybe you're not a fan of his music. You just have to appreciate that for what he does in that genre. He basically owned it and then basically set whole new levels of in that genre. Now, one of the downsides of thinking differently and questioning everything and trying to break down barriers and everything is that sometimes you go down a road where you're questioning something, but you just don't have that much knowledge about it. You don't have that much expertise. So he's asking the question, but he doesn't have a lot to back it up. Well, and as other individuals were quick to point out, hey, Kanye, we respect you in music, but wait a second. I don't know if you know that much about slavery and history and why you're questioning, but we have an answer for you, and we have some things that you should learn more about. And the reaction has been huge to what he said.
I will say this. Kanye's mom had a doctoral in education, a very intelligent woman, which would lead you to believe that Kanye had a good role model, and he learned life's lessons well and early in life. One would imagine that. But I want to know, after hearing what Kanye said in that interview with TMZ, do you agree with Kanye? Do you think that slavery was a choice? Is that something that you can feel comfortable speaking out about? And if you do, comment and let us know why you feel that way or why you don't, and how Kanye's comments have impacted you. That's what we want to know.
It's just it becomes a problem when such a broad generalization. His assumption is that in the 400-year history of slavery is that there was no insurgency, there was no fighting back, there was no this is wrong and we want to do something about it. If you go back, there were a number of big uprisings. Nat Turner was one. A huge number of slaves that tried to break free and say this is wrong and we're fighting back. They were unable to do so because tactic-wise and militarily, that's not the right terms, but basically the resources that they had were no match for those in power. So there was from at least huge. I mean, this is well known. There was a pushback
American
to this
history,
several times over the history of slavery, and it's really important that he at least should have acknowledged that instead of just a broad assumption that nobody did anything about it.
And so he-
Especially with his people, right? And this was yesterday on TMZ when I was watching this clip being posted by various people, whether you're black or you were not a person of color. It was people going, wait, you can't make that statement and think that people aren't going to resist it because, who was TMZ?
Van.
It was the host there. He came up and he basically, and this was something that was very organic because Kanye was in the building, right?
Yes,
and he got
right
up
there.
and said, oh, you cannot be saying these sort of things. You're a celebrity. You have earned your right to be in the position you're in. But all of us regular people, you know, we bear what our
consequences
people
of that,
have had to endure over 400 years. And I want to talk about the National Museum of African American History and Culture. So this is Smithsonian over in D.C. And the tweets from years past have been coming up because they're dropping history, right? And they're saying enslaved people fought against slavery in ways from open rebellion to subtle acts of resistance in their day-to-day lives. They go on. These are tweets again from last year. Acts of resistance included slowing down work, damaging equipment, feigning illness or running away. These acts were an attempt to halt slaveholder profits and resist the system of slavery. Learn more here. There's a link to learn more. So they go on and they're dropping this knowledge that, yes, what you're saying is actually inaccurate.
Right. You know, one of the things that he's able to do is that he's rich and powerful, and he has most of the daily life necessities taken care of his kids, all of these things. So he has the freedom and the resources to dive into any subject of his choosing as deep as he wants to go.
Right.
So go there first, then come back and teach us what you've learned, because you've certainly got a mouthpiece, you've got a loud voice, and we're going to listen to what you have to say regardless.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just don't think he thought about it too deeply, because these things are well known. The other thing is, remember how the South was back in the day. It was plantation by plantation. There was not social media. There was not coordination among any of these things. It was basically you and your local family, your local network of either the slaves and the relationship with that, along with the slave owners. It was a very lopsided relationship, number one, and there was not grand coordination the way that we think about it today.
So I want to talk about some of the comments that are coming in, and we have. First, we have Jackie Nod, who said slavery by definition offers no choice. Then we have Richard Goodrich, who's saying Kanye who? And to your point, Richard, while he did fall off, Kanye, like Rob said, is one of the leaders in the rap industry and has one of the biggest megaphones on the planet. Okay? And so then we have more people chiming in.
Wow.
Gregory again saying that my great-great-grandmom was a slave. My grandmom was a cotton picker, and I am from the Delta of Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi,
Right.
which is still to this day one of the poorest places. I lived in Mississippi, and I've driven through the Delta many times. It's still to this day, very impoverished.
Such a slap in the face for those people. You have to understand, we still live in a time where people like George Bibbs can recall a time when his only great-great-grandmother and his great-grandparents were slaves.
It's crazy.
That's wild. So for Kanye, I just feel it was very irresponsible, and it was hurtful. It was hurtful to the community.
That's what Van was saying. The TMZ correspondent was saying that you have this barrier between Kanye and the world, and every day Black people feel these microaggressions every single day that he doesn't have to deal with because of his privilege, and he seems a bit disconnected from what normal people have to go through. And there is a disrespect there, and Van says that he was disappointed, he was disgusted, and he thinks better of Kanye and wants Kanye to do more with his platform.
I'm going to be so interested to see what Kanye does
Yes.
with all of this now, because I have never seen, bless you, I have never seen more people in his community, just in the world of pop culture, with the opinion against him. Usually it's the past. It's Kanye. He's a lyrical genius. You know, he's a musician. He's different.
Right.
No, he doesn't get that pass this time.
Oh, you know what?
He doesn't get it.
I just remembered this. Right after he tweeted that photo with the Make America Great Again hat last week, he lost 9 million followers in 7 minutes.
People are not here for Kanye
9 million.
right now.
Wow.
That's an incredible number of people.
But he still has 26 million people following him.
Precisely.
George
the numbers
West,
are still there.
George West, I'm embarrassed that we share the same last name.
Okay.
Wow, what are the chances, right?
So
George West.
thank you all for chiming in on this.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more stories just like this one, all you got to do is hit subscribe.